Are these any good? Let's find out. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick sketch, 2H pencil, okay? I'm going to do 2H pencil, and then from there I'll do just a tiny bit of ink maybe, or I may do watercolor on top first and then hit it with ink. We'll see. So let's just go ahead and get going. So keep it real loose, right? Now if I were doing a longer pose, right, I would measure. Right now, let's just draw. Okay, so that's good enough. All right, so let's get our brushes out. And I think I'll probably just watercolor. So the kit I have, so you can see here, it has two different tips. Haven't really used this yet. One is really thin and then more tapered, and one's a little thicker. So I'm going to use this one primarily. Maybe I'll touch this for the details at the end. So with watercolors, the main thing is we want to always focus on trying to start from light to dark, but we do want to establish our shadows as much as possible, meaning shadow shapes. So when you look at the drawing here, I'm trying to fill in these little areas on this side because the shadow is going to be on this side of the image. So I'm trying to create little shapes and little patterns for me to go by. Now, you know, with this whole painting, also you want to keep in mind, you know, as you're starting off, I won't go too dark in the dark sides first, because if you go back over with light colors, it can get everything muddy. So let me just go ahead and just start grabbing the color here. Just drop some color down. I like to drop little water droplets on anything that I think I'll be using. Also, when you look at the watercolors, you'll see anything that looks like this. See how that has a pastel tint? So what, even without you understanding each manufacturer's paint, when it starts to feel sort of like opaque looking, like this and this a little bit, I already know that those colors have white in them. So they're gonna be a little bit more opaque, not as transparent. Now, and also by lavender, by its nature, is purple, which is a dark color generally. So I try to stay away from those colors initially, at least. But you can use whatever, honestly. Just have fun. I think that's the biggest thing. So I'm looking at all of these. Here, I'll show you the picture I'm drawing from. Gotta make sure I save some in here. I obviously will modify this because that's just what I do, and that's what we do as artists. We want to give it our own interpretation. All right, so let me just show you the image I'm drawing from. So there's the head. Hold on, see, like that. See, I kind of exaggerated my expression a little bit more. Okay. All right, that's it. Let's get going. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my lightest color, this. The reason why I get the color in there, so it activates the pigment. Try to get a lot of pigment in here. Drop it into my little well right here. You can see that right there. Okay, so I'm just dropping in water. The more water you have, the lighter it will go down, and it's just a nice way of setting the tone. I can go with a pure color like this initially because I know I can bring the color intensity down later with other colors. If you're worried, you can bring the color down now. Okay. All right. Now also, I'm going on dry paper. So what that means is the paint will give you a little bit sharper edges as you work. And one last thing, when you're working watercolors, you want your board to be tilted so the color can run. So I'm gonna bring my Post-it. It's just a little post here. It's a Post-it block. I'm just gonna put it right behind here. So it has a little tilt. So that way you can control your watercolor. All right, so I'm actually, even though this is gonna go much darker, I'm actually gonna block in the shadow side shapes up front. And I know I can come back in after the fact. Make sure it's enough pigment. And I'll actually take this on the other side too, but I'm doing this initially because it just helps me see the shape and the pattern that I'm going to go for. Don't worry when you do this, just have fun. If you make a mistake, just do another one. Art's supposed to be enjoyable. And my thing is, you know, if you're in my class, I don't want to be the teacher who sucks the joy out of art, because I know that can happen in art school. I had some art teachers that really made me hate art, actually. And that should never happen. Why? They're way too uptight, too serious. And I think they were going some personal stuff, so they were taking it out on the students. I don't know that it's for a case, but that's what I think. All right, let me stop rambling. Okay. All right, so I'm just blocking in. Here, this to me is going to be in shadow too, so let's just go ahead and put a little of that color in there. It's funny, I thought I was going to draw, I wanted to draw a tree. So I don't know what made me start drawing this cow's head. Another thing, no, I know what it was, because I didn't want to go on the internet and pull up reference material. I wanted to draw from a book. Why did I want to draw from a book? Okay, because I didn't want the distractions of the computer and the dings, and you know, you go on there thinking you're looking for one thing, and next thing you know, you're 20 minutes in and you're looking at, you know, you're shopping for Christmas. It's like, I didn't want that. So whenever I can, I grab reference and put it in front of me. It's old school, but I swear it helps me. I focus better. Now, watercolor, you want to let it dry before you put like really massive, heavy layers on top, or a new layer. Where is it? Do I have it here? It's actually under my desk. Hold on. I'm not going to do it today. I don't think I am. But hold on. I have my hair dryer. Oh, hold on. It's hanging on the other side. Actually, maybe I will do this. I'll probably have to mute this for you guys with a mic, but it's a hair dryer. See? So that'll speed up the drying time. Now, if you're a watercolor purist, people who are not illustrators, they like to let their watercolor dry naturally. But when you're doing quick sketches, sometimes that's a pain in the butt. So I'm going to turn this on right now. This and let it dangle on this side. Okay, don't pull too hard. Okay. All right. Okay, so I can keep going with that color, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak. Well, actually, I'm going to actually change it up a little bit. I'm going to take this color. I'm going to push this right back down. It looks kind of opaque, so I have to be careful because I want my color to be somewhat transparent and not chalky. Okay, we'll start with this. Drop some pigment down. All right. The pigment in there. So I'm using this to really start to push the value a little bit more. The shadow side, but I'm also changing color. Usually you want to start from the top and pull down. You know, don't get too caught up in all that kind of stuff either, though. I'm redrawing some of this as I go. Okay, this is going to be the final value, but I see this color, I want to push it all the way out a little bit more. So it should start to pool and pull down through gravity. You see how the water stays wet? That's actually a good thing when it stays wet, because it stays active and you can keep pushing and pulling it. The paper is dry right now, so that's why I'm able to control where I push the watercolor. This is always so much fun to me. My daughters like to say it's satisfying. I know, 8-year-olds saying stuff like that is so weird to me, but that's how they talk. They were referring to it, they were looking at someone do a drawing on YouTube, but it was faceless. They just had music and they were just watching it. It was like for little kids, and they were just mesmerized by it. She bust out, "This is so satisfying." And I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, all right, we're gonna keep on pulling. Keep it on going. I'm gonna come back and even push that over. But just trying to establish something in the beginning here. Let it flow, meaning the watercolor. Bring that in here, since I know I'm gonna let this sort of be like a shadow underneath. So I'll just let it connect right now. See how it's, as long as it's wet, we can keep reworking it. This is why we use watercolor paper. Now also, the paper does buckle, I don't worry about that. We're doing this in sketch paper. And even if you stretch the paper, it's gonna buckle. But just let it dry, and eventually it'll dry flat. Okay, so here's that nice big shadow here that I saw a second ago. Now we'll see. It should go on top of that, which I'm okay with. Wash down here so it can kind of feel loose and not contained too inside the lines. All right. Okay, I see this on the other side as well. You see how this is drying kind of dark there. Now, honestly, if you're doing like really hardcore pure watercolor, try not to go in and play with this. But if it gets too dark, if you just stick your brush in the middle, it pulls, it's absorbing the water and the ink and the pigment. So I'm pulling that out. Ideal to leave the white of the eyes, but you can always go back in and paint the white of the eyes with opaque paint. Also, if you notice, when I did my drawing, I changed the horn shape of my cow, but I didn't, you know, I didn't care. I wanted to do it the way I want to do it. That's really important. Now, if I'm doing an illustration, I'm getting paid, and let's say it was like, where's animation? Doesn't really matter. If someone's paying me to do it a certain way, then I'll do it that way. But I mean, a certain look. Okay, so starting to get some patterning happening here. Okay, so I'll do is just squeeze a little bit more water so that this will be lighter. Then I can kind of pull down. I don't want to touch this because it's just going to start running. But maybe I should do that just so you can see. So let's touch this. See, I'm pulling that because it's wet. Now that's going to flow into this. I'm not going to keep that edge that I had before. Okay. So I'm putting color, but I am thinking value at the same time. Now see the sketch, I kept it in there. It'll eventually fall back into the image, but if it, you know, if it bothers you having a sketch, you're going to erase and clean up the sketch as you're going. Okay, I just added more pigment. I can't see, I think you can see this little bit of color here. I'm trying to look. This is kind of tricky, but this is a great learning experience to do this demo this way. No idea how long we're in, 27 minutes. Kind of fake the detail. Line detail. Okay, let's go over here. I didn't get into his eyes on this side. I'm just gonna go all dark. come back with the yellow on the other side a little bit more. Now here's what you'll see. See how I put this down and there is no yellow in there? That's why it sort of stands out and it looks a little weird, which I don't really care for that so much. Whoa, didn't want that at all. So I'm just putting a lot of water right now. Try to absorb some of that to pick it up. That was not intentional there, so I can dilute it. I wanted it to wash softly. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and hit this with a dryer again so I can put another layer or something. So I'm going to go back to that initial yellow I had, just so I can get a nice glaze on this side of here. And here, it's looking a little funky. Tying all the colors together. It's a yellow, it's a sunset kind of scene. That's why there's so much yellow in this. So that's why I'm kind of coming back into this, and now I'm hitting this whole thing with a little bit of yellow. Okay. Now, let's go to a deeper sort of sienna color. Is this gonna be my sienna? Testing them. All right. Just double checking what's wet and what's not. Okay, here, actually, let me dry this just in case that yellow may bleed.
These niggas missing the hard work, they calling it talent. And I find that disrespectful, cause I put on the mileage. Up for the shit, but I'm down for the challenge. Step off the scene just to find me a balance. These niggas don't want it to get it, cause when it got hard, them niggas quit it. So much hustle, dog. It's all about that muscle, dog, yeah. Trying to make it out the struggle, dog, yeah. Hey, watch out this bubble, dog.
Okay. Now, reason why I dried it, because when I put my brush mark down, it gives me more detailed edges. Meaning it's not going to flow into another area. If I wanted that, then I would do that. So areas that are going to be dark, I put this in there. Why? Because eventually when I go to the dark value, it'll look richer when you do. Okay, I kind of clipped that area, but again, this is just explaining. Ugly looking, but just filling in some of the gaps. I always squint my eyes too every so often, check my values. Okay, so this is coming along. What is that? 10 minutes in? Oh man, I gotta pick up the pace. So let me jump into some like cool colors. Now, cool color, ooh, not that color. So this is why you gotta, especially with these colors, you gotta touch it and put it on your palette. So what I'm looking for is like, can you see that? Yeah. I'm looking for a sort of a color that has a little bit more purple in it, not just blue. So I'm gonna keep coming all the way down here. And if I have to mix my own purple, I will. This color. Yeah, that's not too bad. What is this color? So I push them here because I don't want that. Reason why I'm trying to stay away from that sort of greenish looking blue, because green is close to a complement to that sort of reddish brown. Because if I put that green in there on top, it's going to muddy up the colors, and I know that because it's complement. So this looks almost like ultramarine blue. Okay, so if I run out of space, but here I'll just flip this palette around. But if I ran out of space, I would just take a napkin and wipe it out. Okay, so I'm using cool because I'm going to put this all on the shadow side. All the stuff that's on this side. And it's going to, the temperature shift is going to make it start feeling different. Okay. And if, if I have, a little bit more violet and red in here, I could have done that, but this will still work. Shadow side. See, just coming down this whole side with this color is now making it feel different than the opposite side. So I want to at least get to this stage of the image. really learned a lot about warm and cool relationships. So hard to get to this demo. It was like so busy. It's been busy all weekend. It's literally Sunday night, 7:30. I'm like, okay, can't watch football. Gotta do a demo. Secondary shadow. Get some cool. All of this. Up to some degree, and up there it can catch light. And have this casting a shadow across his eye. This, yeah, maybe this whole thing is going to be a shadow like that. Just the top part of his eyelid here. Catch warm, like that. See? Maybe a little too far. That's all right. It's a quick sketch. Okay. Okay, this side. I want to get some of that ear. Not all of it. I want to get some of this ear and shadow. So we have different temperatures. Alright, so the values, when I squint my eyes, this can go a lot darker in certain spots. So it would take us a minute to get there. So what I'll do, I'm going to mix sort of like a rich dark value that sort of simulates black. And I'll punch in those spots in a few areas. I can also do that with the ink, right? So let me turn this on one more time. So as I was hair drying, I really realized I'm going to use ink on top of this to frame it up because it's faster. So these are the brush pens that I had you guys get. Here, here, put it right here. So just making sure it's wet. I mean dry. Now, if I were to do pure watercolor, I would keep going and build this all the way up to the end. But that's, you know, starts to take a little bit more time than I want to apply for this. Okay, come on. Get out of there. Okay, we got this one. And, wait, oh, the top popped off of there. You guys didn't see it. That was weird. Okay, and then also if I need to bring in like a, I have Copic liners over here. Let's see here, maybe like a 3, maybe put in a 1. Okay. So, all right. Okay, so let me just go ahead and hit this. So this is just going to make it faster, especially for like a quick sketch. That's where my light of my eyes are going to go. You don't have to outline it a lot. You can do a lot of lost and found lines. Oh, I just made him look a little mean. I don't want him to be mean. Here, let's take this up, down. I just realized he looked a little mean. Come on, don't make him that. I usually rotate the paper, but I'm not going to rotate it for the demonstration. So on the shadow side, you guys notice I'm inking a little bit more heavy. On the top sides where it's light, I'm staying away from that. His eye on this side, it's in light, so I don't really want to put black because I want to feel like light is hitting it. So I'll do watercolor in that. I just did that. All right. Okay, so here I'll put this away for a second. I'll use a little tiny liner. Let's use the 3. Make sure the ink is coming out. All right. This is more of a solid line. Actually, I'm gonna go with the tinier line. Was that 0.1? Make sure ink is coming out. Yeah. Okay. I like to, with my lines, follow the direction of form. So it makes it feel like it's more three-dimensional. I'm spending my time on the shadow side because I think that's where a lot of this interest is. So, did that line here. I don't want this to contradict the form, but I want a couple lines here. This is a thinner line, just so I can get it on the shadow side. On the light side, I can do that, I think. Maybe a little bit like that. Okay. I could keep going. I can keep going. I can keep going. But I can't because I gotta stop. Put this video up for you guys. should have did that with watercolor. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna make a quick, rich, dark, real quick. That looks kind of like a blackish tone. Okay, then I'm gonna look for like a rich red. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use. Some rich, some black. Whatever that blue was earlier I was using. So I'm mixing all of this together. Okay, so we'll see. Let's test it right here. See how dark it is. It's pretty dark. I need more red in it because it's kind of ugly. All right. Yeah, it's a little prettier. But you can mix different colors. There's a hair. It happens sometimes. My girls have long hair. It's like gets everywhere. I want to detangle it. I find their hair everywhere. So this is my dark accents. Okay, I wanted to make this another 30 minutes, so it's not much longer than that. Side of the eye. So I'm just adding a little that sienna with this color. Don't go too dark. I just put water to soften that so it flows a little bit more down. And I'm just going to do one last thing and get out of here. Let's take this rich orange. Mix it with that sort of sienna brown looking kind of color. Maybe this color. Yes. So I'm using the little tiny brush now, but you can use whatever brush you want. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. So I don't know if that dark is dry I should make sure it's dry because if it goes into here, it's gonna create a weird puddle. But that's okay. I think I'm gonna take this whole thing darker. And I may have made a mistake, but that's okay. That's okay. And I'll take my other brush while it's still wet. So this is what I'm doing. I'm taking it, scrubbing it out, and I wipe on my hand. Put a little water in there. Okay, so let's do this. Let's dry it. Oh, actually, I'm gonna put a little bit right here. That's why I made that shape there. Let's do a little bit. Another orange, and yellow. Let's just do a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna. Scrub that out. Actually, I'm going to take the other brush that's clean so I can soften that up. It's going to keep pulling down. There we go. As I keep drawing, I keep seeing things, but I would keep going, keep going. Anyway, what are we at? Oh, 31 minutes. All right, let me dry this. Let's see if I have a white gel pen. Let's see if it's working. So if I want to put highlights with a white gel pen, I can do that. You can use like white gouache, but this just works well usually. I haven't touched this one in a minute, so I'm scrubbing to see if the ink is coming out. Really, you don't put highlights and shadows. I just want to see if it's gonna. Let's not do that. Actually, let's come up here. Yeah, it's not looking so good. Like it's coming out. I think I need a fresh one. I have these other brush pens too. I don't even. When's the last time I used them? Oh yeah, that works. It's kind of transparent. That's why it works. And also with these, you can also hit your whole image with like the drawing. It's colored pencils too. I didn't do it much on the horns. I wanted to draw your eyes and your face here. Okay, that's it. We gotta kill it. All right. So hopefully that made sense. What I did here is just basically, what is it? It's a pencil, 2H. Then I just did some watercolor on it. Then I do some pen and ink on top of that. This could obviously go much, much further, but still, I think we have enough here. The ink is what holds the edge, the frame. It's like the bones, the skeleton of the drawing. But anyway, hopefully that made sense. Okay.
When I think about yesterday,